Good evening. I just finished my dinner and I'm getting ready to work a little bit on my Christmas puzzle. But before I do, I thought I would just chat a little bit about something I'm working on for the blog this week and kind of a goal that I have coming up for the new year that actually I'm kind of just starting now. I stumbled across a YouTube video the other day and it was about the no buy year, which is a trend I'd heard about, but I hadn't really watched anything on it. And out of curiosity, I kind of watched this video, and a lot of the points that she made kind of encouraged me to examine my own spending habits. And I went and took inventory of everything that I had purchased from Amazon this year and was pretty blown away by how much I had spent. Now, looking back on all of the things that I bought, I can't say that I have any regrets. There are only a handful of items that I feel like I really wasted my time and money on, didn't need, didn't get any use out of. Most everything that I purchased was useful, and I'm glad that I have it. And there were some bigger purchases, like I bought a new day bed for my patio this year because I used to have like a big canopy gazebo that finally just kind of fell apart. The fabric had ripped and the metal was rusting and it was starting to come to pieces. And so I took it down and tossed it. And instead of buying another one, I chose to buy this day bed that had like a little hood thing in the back. And then I bought one of those big mosquito nets that is like a canopy intended for a bed, but I hung it from a hook from my soffit right above the day bed and then draped it around the day bed so that I could close it whenever I was out there using it to keep mosquitoes out. And so that was my solution for that. And then like a swimming pool that I put up every year, which honestly last year was probably going to be the last year because I had issues every single year with parts leaking, and then I've got to call the manufacturer and get replacements. And finally the seam split after about 6 weeks of using it this year, and water started leaking out, and I finally just kind of said the heck with it, and I found an inflatable, it's kind of like a raft, except it's made to where you can fill it with water, just, a few inches of water, and kind of soak in it to cool down. And that's all I really need because I just got in the pool to get some sun for 20 minutes a day in the summertime. It's how I generate vitamin D with just enough time in the sun to not cause any skin damage, but to be beneficial. So anyhow, so there were some purchases like that that definitely weren't regrettable, and they were some bigger purchases, so I understand that. But one thing that I've noticed about myself, and I even talked to Michael about this and he very much confirmed it for me, I have a tendency to start projects. It doesn't seem to matter what I have done in my house. There's always something I want to change or do differently or update. And I'm learning that that is where a bulk of my spending is going. And now there are some things that I will have to do in 2024. I have started painting in here and I still have to finish my hallway and stairwell, which I kind of put on pause while I started Christmas decorating and everything, and I need to get back to that now and finish it. I started my garden. I completely redid my garden last spring. I got a greenhouse, which was another big expense. Not huge, it was like a $400 greenhouse, but still, that's kind of a big bill. And we put that up, and then of course I had to buy concrete blocks and concrete mix and different things to make the foundation. And then I decided to completely redo my garden, and I moved it from one area of the yard to the other after kind of watching and taking pictures every day of sun locations and things like that to figure out what part of the yard gets the most sun, because my yard kind of sucks and there's a lot of big mature trees around and I have minimal sunlight. And so I finally located the best place to try to grow a garden, at least between about May 1st and August 1st. And so I decided to completely redo my garden. I broke down everything I had before. I even had to get rid of the soil because I had a fungus that kind of took over everything last year. And so I had to toss out everything and kind of start all over. The concrete blocks I already had, I did keep. I scrubbed them all down with bleach water, but I had to buy more because what I had was only about half of what I needed for the expansion for the garden beds. And then the cedar raised bed I had where I had my tomatoes, cedar is not supposed to rot, but this definitely did. So I suspect that it was not really cedar to begin with. So I learned that I will have to replace that. And so I have the garden about half done. I have to still buy about 40 more concrete blocks and another load of soil and get my tomato bed set up this coming spring. And then I have to finish rocking around that bed whenever I get it installed. So I still have a project that was started this year that's not done that I'm gonna have to finish in 2024. Other than that, I have decided I am not taking on any more projects unless something breaks. So this year was kind of a bad year for that. My refrigerator went out, which you saw in a vlog. My hot water heater went out, which was before I started doing any vlogging, but one morning I woke up and my son comes and says, just so you know, there's water all over the basement floor. I go downstairs and sure enough, there's water everywhere, and it came from the hot water heater, which was like 25 years old and had finally rusted through, and just water was everywhere. So had to get a new hot water heater. So there's things like that where I don't have a choice but to do something about it. But as far as taking on any more projects where I just decide I want to change something for absolutely no reason other than I'm tired of looking at it or I feel like I need something new, that is the big thing that I'm going to change this year. And that includes wardrobe and house both. Because I feel like in both places I'm constantly, and talking in circles here, but my grandma, as much as I've just talked, I wrote a whole blog post about it. I've mentioned it a little bit on here, but she was bad about hoarding things, and she was constantly buying new stuff, buying new stuff, buying new stuff. And I didn't think I was like that because I'm constantly purging things, but I'm learning that really the only difference between myself and her is that when I got new things, I got rid of other things. So I would buy things to replace something else, or, I'd cycle something out and donate it to the thrift store. So I wasn't like keeping everything that I'd ever purchased, but the habit of buying new things and redoing stuff, I definitely have picked that up from her. And I don't think I really realized it until I watched that video and kind of stopped and looked at everything that I had purchased over the year. And this was just from Amazon. This is including things that I got from TJ Maxx and what I spent at Lowe's and Menards on these projects. And so, if I actually sat down and calculated all of that stuff up and saw how much I have spent in total on just changing things in my house and my wardrobe, I would probably really, really want to cry. So I'm not going to do that to myself, but I am going into 2024 with an understanding. And so I'm not going to do a no buy year because I feel like that would be an absolute punishment for me. But I am going to do, I guess, kind of what they're calling a low buy year, to where, there's certain things that are okay, but my main goals are going to be no starting any more projects and no adding to my wardrobe, with the exception of a handful of dresses for summer, because I did get rid of a lot of stuff at the end of the season. So now I have to replace it because it's gone. So, I am going to limit myself though. Instead of buying 2, 3, 4 things a month, I'm going to limit myself to probably 6 dresses and a pair of sandals, and that's going to be it for the entirety of the season. So, I would have bought that in 2 months last year, and starting like April all the way through August. And so I'm definitely cutting that back. And I think between that and not buying crap for the house, I'm going to be content with every bit of decor that I already have here. And I am not buying another thing for this house. Starting January 1st, we're done. And then the other thing that I am allowing myself, every year at Christmas time, Michael and I do like a Christmas date, and this is our gift to each other. Rather than buying each other things, we like to do an experience. And so there's a restaurant in town called Celebrations, and it's, kind of one of those fancy restaurants where you go and you spend a couple $100s for a dinner. And so that's what we do every year. And so I get an outfit that I can wear for that or Christmas or both. And so that's kind of one of those yearly things that I do. And even that, I feel like within another couple of years, I'm probably going to stop doing that because I'll have enough that I can start cycling back through it again without repeating the same thing every year. So that is where I'm at on that. I'm getting ready to start typing a blog post about this as well. And I will put a link to that. Well, it probably won't be done because I think I have that one scheduled for this Sunday, and this video is going to be live on Wednesday, so tomorrow. So I won't have that linked yet, but if I remember, I'll try to link that in the next blog post or the next vlog, However, I do always link my blog, so you can go and check that anytime you want. But I will have that post scheduled for Sunday, and I'll go a little bit more in depth because I know in general people get just kind of zoned out just listening to someone talk and talk and talk and talk for a long time. So I am going to cut this brief here and get to blogging, but I really just haven't had a lot going on this week. Not a whole lot to film, and I wanted to get a vlog put out on Wednesday, so I thought it would be good to just sit down and kind of have a chat and let you know what's going on and let you know what my plans are. The next vlog on Sunday, there will definitely be some more to share with you because Friday night there is the downtown open house, which is just a huge thing downtown with all the Christmas lights lit up and all the different businesses are open and have specials. And there is a cafe downtown that has the most amazing sugar cookies, and they always have a hot chocolate bar, and they have really beautifully decorated sugar cookies for sale. And so we have to stop there. It's become a yearly tradition. So we're gonna stop there and do that. And then there is an antique store that always has live mannequins in the window, which I need to look and see. It was last year or the year before, their theme was It's a Wonderful Life, and they did a fantastic job. So I need to look and see what their theme is gonna be for this year. But all of that I will have in my next vlog. So Sunday will be a lot more exciting. But until then, I'm gonna get to working on my blog, and then I'm going to work a little bit on this puzzle as well. Might be opposite order, but that's gonna be it for this week. So I'll see you back here on Sunday.